What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today's video is going to be a little bit different. Yes, that is right. We are doing a tier list for Call of Duty because, you know, I'm putting it on the screen here. Carnage Apollo tweeted out his tier list today, and this just went wild, bro. Like, it went fucking wild. So I'm going to be ranking my tier list, starting from the first Call of Duty all the way to Cold War. This might get a little controversial, so at least I can defend myself a little bit. So starting off, we have Call of Duty 1. Didn't play it. I know it's the one that started it all. You know, it's probably a really good game. I've seen gameplay of it. It reminds me a lot of Medal of Honor Allied Assault, but I never played it. And then also, I'm going to have to put Call of Duty. This is 1 and 2, I believe. I couldn't tell you which one's which. I think this is 1, and this is... No, this is 1, this is 2. I didn't play either of those. The first game I played was COD 4, but I went back and played other ones as well. So next up is Call of Duty 3. You know what? I need to actually add a tier. I'm going to go here and put mediocre because, well, that's exactly... Let me change the color to a bright blue. That is exactly what Call of Duty 3 is. It's not a bad game, but it's also not amazing. I've only played the campaign, but the multiplayer did add a bunch of stuff from vehicles and things like that. So it really did innovate a lot from the first two games. This game has an apparently good multiplayer as well. I'm not sure though. So I want to put that in the mediocre area. I didn't really play much of it, but anyway. Next up we have is Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Instant masterpiece. It is an amazing game. I think Call of Duty 4 is easily the reason I still play Call of Duty. It's what kept me playing during Infinite Warfare's life cycle when it got remastered. The campaign is absolutely amazing. The visuals were a really good step up from Call of Duty 3, 1 and 2, and the big red one. It's just an amazing game. It's just so fucking good. I think Modern Warfare 1 is a true great game. Coming up next is going to be Call of Duty World at War. And I might get some hate for this, but it's going in it's going in the amazing category. I didn't play this game's multiplayer at all. The multiplayer of COD 4 I did, but I did majority of it in the remaster at the beginning, and it was close enough to the original when the remaster was first out for that experience. And the campaign of World at War is great, so was Zombies, but I didn't play it very often, or much at all. It's a World War II game. I'm not really big into World War II shooters. It's not a terrible game, but for me, it's not deserving of the masterpiece area. Coming up next is Modern Warfare 2, and this is going to get me some hate. It's going to go directly in front of World at War. It's not a masterpiece in my opinion. I didn't play it. I know it's a good game, but it also is the most broken Call of Duty to ever be released. It has a bunch of broken weapons, even the ACR, noob tubes, things like that. If this game came out today, the community would never have embraced it, like at all. It just wouldn't work if it came out today in today's community. I just think this game absolutely isn't worth your time. Today, that is. Like, it wouldn't be worth it going back. I mean, going back now, I mean, if you played it then, you'll have the good memories, but if you didn't play it, it's not the same. It's the same thing with COD 4. When it got remastered, it felt older than the newer games. It didn't feel as smooth, but it looked well and it played well. Surprisingly, but I feel like Modern Warfare 2 with SBMM and the noob tube issues that it had, I just don't think it'd be worth it. And I just don't think it'd be well received. Coming up next is BO1. This is also going to beat World at War in the amazing category. BO1 is an amazing game. Absolutely adore it, but it's not my favorite. I can go back and play the game, but I feel like I just don't like BO1 as much as others. BO1 is a great game. It needs to go in front of World at War here. Hang on. But it is a great game. I think BO1 introduced better zombies map, had a really good multiplayer. The campaign was all amazing, but it's the same issue with Modern Warfare 2. Didn't really play it. I'm sure it would have been great, but I didn't play BO1 very much. I mainly just did zombies, and even then I really didn't. But that's just why it's not there. But going back now, I do definitely have a fun time. Next up is Modern Warfare 3, and it's going to go right here. I think that Modern Warfare 3 is an S-tier masterpiece game because it's Modern Warfare 2, but better. And that's just my personal opinion. I think Modern Warfare 3 is just so much better than any of the other ones, in my honest opinion. I think Modern Warfare 3 added so much. It added, you know, Specialist. There were really no bad maps besides like Outpost and Downturn for the base game. It added really good DLCs. Survival was amazing. Spec Ops was amazing. The campaign was good. To me, the campaign was a step down from COD 4, but that's just me. absolutely amazing game. I love it. If I could re-experience Modern Warfare 3, I gladly would. Coming up next is BO2, and it is taking the #1 spot of all time. Black Ops 2 is just a great game, in my honest opinion. I think BO2 has some of the greatest camos, the maps, the weaponry. Oh, the maps are amazing. Zombies had a few misses with Transit and Die Rise, but then the rest were just straight bangers. Origins, a banger. Mob of the Dead, a banger. Buried, a banger map. All amazing maps for zombies. The campaign continued right from BO2 or BO1. It was a great campaign, introduced branching storylines. The weapons all worked. The maps were amazing. The score streaks were really, really good. League play was the best it had ever been for its first rendition ever. The Peacekeeper introduced DLC weapons, and it wasn't a broke DLC weapon. Granted, it didn't release for free, so that could knock it down a tier. But if you were playing back then, you didn't care because all the other weapons were really good, like the MP7, the M8A1, the M27, the SCAR, the PDW, and the MSMC. Ooh, perfect. Coming up next is Call of Duty Ghosts. This is going to go in the good category. The reason this is going to go in the good category for me, and it's not an amazing game. It shouldn't even really be here. It should technically be at mediocre. But the reason I'm not putting it at mediocre is because of one simple thing: the story. I genuinely think that Call of Duty Ghost story wasn't bad at all. There were a few like, what the fuck is happening? What is the point? What is this? But I genuinely think that it is a good fucking game. Multiplayer had a bunch of bad maps, but I liked how they tried introducing new things. You know, they tried introducing kind of miniature destruction to the maps, which was cool at the time. It innovated in certain areas that I think it needed to innovate in, and I absolutely adore Ghost for that, for trying something different. The campaign was pretty good. I wish it was a little bit longer and explored more of the US thing. The plot was absolutely stupid, but I mean, the plot of Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are stupid. I mean, every single game. BO3 was even worse for campaign, but I didn't think it was bad. Extinction, outside of the first map, and I think it was Nightfall, I want to say, the second map, the first DLC, I didn't play very much of. I did enjoy Extinction when I played it. I liked the scavenging system. I think that was really cool. I'm glad that Zombies kind of added that with Origins, where you could pick stuff up and find weapons and power-ups and things like that. And I think you can find ammo to it too. But Cold War also did that same with BO4, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember if BO4 had the pickup stuff with Zombies. I can't fully remember. It's been a long time since I played either of those Zombies experiences since Cold War has released. But I think Ghost innovated in a lot of good ways, added leaning, it added some pretty decent maps. I wouldn't say the maps are great. They're definitely not these games level of maps, but they're also not terrible. They definitely could have been a lot worse. I think if the game had a bigger player count size, like for lobby sizes, it would have been better. I also think if you switched Ghost with Infinite Warfare, it would have been so much more well received. Coming up next is my most controversial pick of them all. I know I'm going to get hate for this, especially if anybody's reacting to this video. I mean, if it's a Zombies guy, I don't know if it's a multiplayer guy. Advanced Warfare. Where is it going to go? Is it going to go in trash? Is it going to go mediocre? Good? Can't believe I'm putting it here. It's a masterpiece. In my honest opinion, Advanced Warfare is a great game. It did a lot of things right, but it did a lot of things wrong. Advanced Warfare innovated when Call of Duty needed to change, and it changed really well. For me, the exosuit movement wasn't terrible. I actually really like it. I still play S1X all the time. I love playing S1X with friends, and I think Advanced Warfare is an amazing game that I really wish got more recognized than it did. I think it's a great game. It's not the best masterpiece game in my opinion. It's probably more the low end of the masterpiece games that is going to be up there. But for campaign purposes, had a great storyline. I loved it. The graphics still hold up today. The multiplayer was great. The only thing that could knock this down is Zombies and Survival. Survival, pointless. You know, just for that, it's going to go behind Modern Warfare 2. I think it's going to have to step down. Looking back on it now, as much as I love this game and I want to put it right here, and I will leave it here. I think that's Modern Warfare 2 and stuff did Spec Ops better, but for multiplayer and campaign purposes and innovating, I think Advanced Warfare still keeps that spot. The supply drop system, while terrible, was interesting because it added stat-changing variants, While granted, they were pretty fucking broken, it was interesting because it was new. Had some really cool DLC camos you could buy. The character customization was perfect in my opinion. Same with Ghosts. I love the customization for characters. But it also sucked because you had to get them out of supply drops half the time. That's all you got instead of the cool variants. I feel like if the variant system wasn't a thing, it was more just looking variants, kind of like what World War II did, it would have been more well received from the supply drop side. The pay to win aspect I hated. But other than that, I think it's an amazing Call of Duty game. Next up is BO3. It is going to beat Modern Warfare 2 in my personal opinion. Slightly ahead of Black Ops, below Advanced Warfare. Reasoning. BO3 is a good game. Yes. Campaign is why it's down a tier. This game had the most disappointing campaign I think I've ever played. If I'm being completely honest, I'd rather would have had no campaign in this game than a campaign. And that's just speaking of fact. I felt like the campaign just was a letdown. It's what drops it a tier from being a masterpiece, in my opinion. Zombies was 10 out of 10. No missed maps. While people do not like Zetsubo no Shima isn't Die Rise or Transit bad, but it's also not terrible. The multiplayer side of BO3, I loved it. You know, it's where a lot of YouTubers got their start. Dismo especially. Carnage Clan did really well in that year. With BO3, who else did really well? I mean, a lot of YouTubers did. I know Korean did. A lot of them did really well with Black Ops 3, and I absolutely love BO3 multiplayer. Great. One of the best progression systems since BO2. I still think BO2 wins on the progression side of things for mastery camos and stuff, but BO3 also did add Dark Matter, which also is why it's a good game. I just prefer it less than BO2 for my futuristic Call of Duty game in the Black Ops universe. Next up is Infinite Warfare. It's going to be the back of the amazing category. The Infinite Warfare campaign is a 10 out of 10. The Infinite Warfare campaign is absolutely amazing. I think the Infinite Warfare campaign truly is the best campaign I have ever played in a Call of Duty game. The game really wasn't bad. I didn't enjoy it as much as BO3 personally, but it's not a terrible game. The multiplayer wasn't bad. Zombies in Spaceland, perfection of a map. It is the greatest zombies map, almost the greatest map of all time. If you're ranking zombies maps, it would easily be in the masterpiece area, but we're not basing this off of just zombies. We're basing it off of the whole content package. Infinite Warfare ran into the same thing Advanced Warfare did, with stat-changing variants ruining the game in my honest opinion. But at the same time, the multiplayer, it felt like a downgrade in quality to BO3. The animations were really, really good. You know, the gunplay felt nice, but I felt like the stat-changing variants ruined it for me in BO3. But I also didn't play much of it in Infinite Warfare because I was playing MWR. And I absolutely loved MWR, which is actually, ironically, the next up on our list. So coming up next, we have Modern Warfare Remastered. It is going to go next to the original Call of Duty 4. This is where I mainly played COD 4, was the remaster. I did go back a lot during 2015 and 14, pre-Modern Warfare Remastered, just playing through the older games, multiplayers. I actually got modded to Max Prestige and a bunch of gold, all the gold weapons I think I have. But I did enjoy that. I think Modern Warfare Remastered is a step up to Modern Warfare to COD 4, but it doesn't beat the original because the original is the original. Modern Warfare Remastered did add supply drops, which knocks it down again from that, but it's COD 4 just with better graphics, and it's going to stay where it's at. Next up is Call of Duty World War II. It's going to go in the good category ahead of Ghosts, if I can put it there. I think this game is really, really good for World War II games. I just think its biggest issue was 6 months through the game, it sucked. The prestige system wasn't fun. It wasn't fun to reward. It wasn't rewarding to play. Once they added the Division overhaul, it was a lot more bearable to play, which could put it in the amazing category. But because these other games exist, it's actually, you know what? Let's put this here. I'm gonna put Infinite Warfare down in good. Think about it now. World War II is better than Infinite Warfare, in my opinion. The campaign could beat it out, but I feel like in terms of multiplayer, World War II is gonna have to beat it. I think World War II was a great step. It wasn't a step down, it was a step forward, but wasn't going up the stairs or wasn't going down. It just took one lateral step. We just had lateral changes across the board. That's why I think it is going to have to stay where it is currently at. Like, well, Zombies, I played just the one map. I didn't own the DLC maps at all. So I'm going to have to say it's just good. Multiplayer was a ton of fun after the Division overhaul. The campaign wasn't terrible. I think the campaign was pretty good. I genuinely liked the campaign of Call of Duty World War II. But it also, for me, wasn't as good as World at War because of the steps it did not take. So up next, we have Call of Duty BO4. I'm going to get so much fucking hate for this. It's going right there. Hear me out on why. Yes, it doesn't have a campaign, I know. But for a YouTuber at the time, this game was so much fun to make content on. If I would have known what I do now about editing and I had the PC, you know, the PC I have here, you know, the Elgato at the time, everything else, editing suite, I easily would have made so many more videos on BO4. I loved Black Ops 4. For me, it was the closest thing to a BO2 remastered in terms of weaponry and time period. In terms of maps, I would have to go to Cold War, but for me, BO4 is just an amazing game. The content was really good. So many free DLC weapons. The Season Pass was there, but it didn't require you for weaponry. Supply drops were technically in the game, but they were only cosmetic up until Modern Warfare, like pretty much Modern Warfare 2019 was revealed, I'm pretty sure. Because they had like the Peacekeeper like 8 months, 10 months into the game, 8 months into the game. They added the Peacekeeper into supply drops, which wasn't cool that they added supply drop weapons and got rid of the tier system for earning weaponry, but it was the first time we got free weapons in the game, and you really don't have to buy supply drops to earn them, as you now can actually use crates, 50 crates to get a free weapon drop, and you can earn them as well as the Mark IIs. I love the maps on BO4. There weren't really many bad maps, in my opinion, on Black Ops 4. The weaponry was cool. The camos were amazing. I genuinely loved BO4 with a passion. Zombies was also amazing. You know, the only bad maps in that entire game, in my personal opinion, was literally Dead of the Night and Voyage of Despair. Now, yes, I know Blood of the Dead got hate, but Blood of the Dead was my Mob of the Dead for next gen. I genuinely enjoyed Blood of the Dead when I played with friends. It wasn't fun solo. I still think 9 is the best Zombies map that there realistically is because of how easiest, like, it's easy but not easy at the same time. I was actually choked. I was on like round 95, I think, getting to round 100. I died into some bullshit because of a glitch in the game, but that's besides the point. The maps are really good in that game, so that's where I'm going to put it. Before we move on to Modern Warfare, I want to put Call of Duty Online onto this list. It's going to go, it's the best game of all time. I've never played COD Online, but it is literally what all of us want out of a game. For all of us who love Call of Duty Online is what we wanted. Call of Duty Online has every single weapon from pretty much every game. It's the best of Call of Duty. It's what everybody here in the United States wants. If COD Mobile was on this list, it would go, they are the same game pretty much. It would go into that. If COD Mobile came to console, I'd play it all the time. I wouldn't care about skill-based matchmaking. If it was a free-to-play Call of Duty game with multiplayers, I'd pay $30 for a campaign, $20, $30 for a campaign every year. I would not care. Call of Duty Online is a masterpiece of a Call of Duty game for what it is. Coming up to Modern Warfare, it's going to go in the amazing category. Why is it going here instead of in a masterpiece like I genuinely think it is? Reason it is not going into the masterpiece category is because of the multiplayer maps. I think Ground War was a letdown halfway through the game. Every single map for Ground War, besides one of them, is a Warzone location. Literally. All of them, besides Anaya Palace, is a Warzone map. They dropped the ball with that. Some of the maps were really good, but a lot of the maps towards the tail end were more remakes. And I mean, the remakes weren't bad, but they also proved that they can make good maps from Condor Hideout. The fucking, what's it called? Al Rab Air Base. Shoot House was good. What's the other one? Sawmill, I think is what it was. They made some really good maps, in my opinion, for this game. I genuinely enjoyed a lot of them. Gunsmith, perfection. The campaign is a 10 out of 10. I played it way too many fucking times. Fuck you, Carnage Pro Reborn, for making fun of me on that one. I played the campaign so much. I played a lot of the game. I genuinely think that Modern Warfare deserves the amazing category. Spec Ops wasn't really expanded upon. I thought it was neat, but I genuinely don't think it worked well because Warzone just took the story and took off, and that's why it's an amazing. I also feel like some of the weapons just weren't usable. They weren't fun to use. I feel like if you weren't using like an MP5, MP7, M4, or a DLC weapon, you weren't really able to compete. The trophy systems were broken. A cruise missile could be destroyed by a trophy system. Like, what the fuck? And you got trophy systems so often in that game because of the perks that you could do to get them. Next up is going to be Warzone. This also ties into Modern Warfare a little bit. Warzone took everything from Modern Warfare, made it well, but also ruined it. I can't believe I'm putting it here. This is going to give me some hate. Okay, I'm going to go here. It's its own tier. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest with you here. I think Warzone, in of itself, isn't a great Call of Duty. Warzone from Season 2 of Modern Warfare to Season 6 was amazing. I will give it that. It was a 10 out of 10 game. I loved it. Cold War ruined that for me. The cheaters ruined it for me. The lack of animation ruined it for me. The lack of map change ruined it for me. The lack of transparency ruined it for me. The constant taking out modes that people loved ruined it for me. The weapon imbalancing ruined it for me. The constant meta change ruined it for me. The whole point of a battle royale is to survive with what you have where every weapon can be used, not only one. They ruined it for me. That's why I prefer Blackout. I think Warzone has the mechanics better than Blackout, but I think Blackout takes more skill. If this was a battle royale tier, Warzone would be at the complete bottom. Next up is going to be Cold War. Let's just get the fuck out of that one. Cold War, it's going to go in the good category. Cold War isn't a bad game. I definitely think that Cold War is a great Call of Duty, but doesn't have the necessary stuff. We are still waiting for more zombies content, but only getting 2 zombies maps literally over 100 days apart is not doable. Not at all. You guys fucked up with that. Like, it's not doable. Outbreak was a letdown for me, in all honesty. Multiplayer, if it didn't have SBMM, it'd be a lot better. Some of the maps aren't very good, but a lot of the other maps are fun to play. I think Cold War, if you're not playing with a party, is easily the worst Call of Duty you've ever played. But I genuinely do enjoy Cold War. I enjoy making videos on it. I enjoyed playing with friends, but it's not my favorite game. Zombies is amazing for the replayability. D Machina is a great map. Firebase Z is easily in my top 10 zombies maps. It's so much better than Mauer or Toten. While I do like Mauer, I think Firebase Z, because of its simplicity, is so much more fun to play. But that's just me for that one. I think the game isn't bad. The story of Cold War is really, really good, but graphically it is a step down from Modern Warfare. It is more colorful, which I like, but mechanically, it is worse than Modern Warfare in that regard. But I also do enjoy modern games more like Cold War, like Vietnam era games. I think that this game, if it was more of a Vietnam-focused Call of Duty game, like folks said in the trailers, it seemed like it was more of that, it would have been better. Instead of, every mission taking 30 to 45 fucking minutes, would have been nicer. The campaign needed more length and runtime for it. It felt really rushed. Now, yes, this Call of Duty game was rushed, and I will not fault it for that. But at the same time, they did pick up the mantle and said, yes, we can release it this year. Granted, Activision probably pushed their hand in, and that's why multiplayer wasn't very polished at release. But I just think it's not the greatest Call of Duty game of all time, but it's also, for me, worse than the others. I'd rather play BO1 over Cold War. I think Cold War had better camos than BO1, but gold for BO1 beats it out. The maps for BO1 beat it out as well, but that is just me. I want to know what you guys think about this. I know I'm getting hate, especially for these 2 picks here, and this pick not being up here. Like I said, I didn't play any of these 3 games at all, really at all. It's not like I haven't played them, that's why they're not here. I believe that no Call of Duty game is trash. No Call of Duty game is a terrible game. I will die on that hill. Every game is good for somebody. Ghost was good for certain people, Infinite Warfare was good for certain people. Granted, you could move Warzone and Mediocre around, but this is not a top list. These 2, realistically, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put Warzone here, just to make it easier for people to understand. Warzone is mediocre, but it's its own kind of mediocre. Realistically, you could put these on the same playing field, but I genuinely think that Warzone itself has a bunch of issues that need to be fixed, but that is also me. I want to know what you guys think about this list. Hate me in the comments, go ahead. That's fine by me. I will die on this hill with how I love these games and how I play them all. I love Call of Duty games that I always have played. I want to know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.